Today is Sunday the 21st of May 2017 and I'm just making a video today to show how Corbyn's policy to make further education free is going to harm the working class rather than help them go further up the economic ladder. Now, I'm going to use some anecdotal evidence from the time when I was in further education. And I've done this in another video, but I just want to make it as a singular video so I can then show this because this topic keeps coming up. Now, I believe this of quite a few of Corbyn's policies that it's just not going to help the working class. On the surface, it might seem that way, but when you actually think about it, it wouldn't. So I just want to share the anecdotal evidence which I gathered when being on my further education course to disprove that this making further education free would help the working class. So let's just go into it. Okay, so this is my video on the A-level course in maths and mechanics which I did a couple years ago now, and it should last for about a minute, maybe a bit more. And it's one I did actually alongside an access course in combined science, which I will go into a bit further on into this video and actually show what I did on that course as well. What you can see, first of all, I should mention, is that there are 2 books missing. So when you see the result, you're going to have to add an extra 2 books on. But even these 4 books show the sheer amount of work they had to do in order to complete this course. Now, this was done just by sheer willpower because I did it as an external candidate, so I had no teacher pushing me along, or I had no teacher to ask. I just had to do it by my sheer willpower, so it shows my determination and the fact that I did actually want to do the course, and also by reading textbooks and the internet. So this makes it even harder really because it's not as easy as going to a class and learning off a teacher. But I think I've said enough now, so I stop talking now. So this is my work for the access course in combined science that I did alongside the A-level course in maths and mechanics. So the first thing I have to say is what exactly is an access course? Now, an access course is a course that's designed for adults and it's supposed to combine GCSE, AS and A2, meaning really GCSE and a full A level. Now, you may be thinking, how is this possible to combine 4 3 years into one singular year? And the answer to that question is that it's not. What happens is that corners just get cut, and if you do this course, you will not gain the knowledge that you would gain if you did GCSEs and then A levels. So the next point that I think is really important to state is that I didn't actually do this in the city where I live. I did it in a city which is about 25 miles away from where I actually live. There was also another person on the course who lived in the same city which I live in, and another person who lived in a city which was about 85 miles away from the college where this course was taking place. Now, the class had a number of 35 people in it, so the other 32 people actually lived in a walking distance from the college, and that will be important a bit later. So as we look at this work now, it's clear to see that the amount of work that happened on this course with a tutor didn't equate anywhere near the sheer amount of work that I did as an external candidate reading out of books and using the internet. The reason there was less work done on the access course than what there was on the A-level maths and mechanics course was due to the fact of the sort of people which were on the access course. Now, these people have been cajoled by the government to go onto this course, and I usually see it like this. The majority of people in this country, or the majority of kids I should say in this country, want to be a Premiership footballer. But only a minority of that majority has or is willing to put in the time and effort to become a Premiership footballer, or indeed has the qualities needed to be a Premiership footballer. Now, what would happen if the government cajoled the other people within the majority onto Premiership footballers' scholarships? What you would find out is that they would be a burden onto the ones who actually want to do it and actually are willing to put in the time and effort to get to that level. As just popped up on the left is one of a satellite shot which was taken of a snowstorm which happened in February 2009. Now that's when I did the course, and during this time it lasted for about 3 months, this snowstorm, and during this time I used to turn up to classes, and all that would be there was the other guy who came from the city where I was from, and also a guy from Cumbria, and the class was in Leeds. So I used to go to these classes, and the teacher just said, I'm not willing to teach the class if there's only 3 out of 35 people who have turned up, because I'm just going to have to teach the class again. So I missed out because these 32 other people didn't turn up. Now these 32 other people were actually living in a walking distance from the college where the course was taking place. So there was no excuse really that they didn't come in. But the thing was that they had been pushed by the government to go onto the course, and they didn't actually have the sheer determination and willpower to put in the work to actually achieve the qualification which was being done at the college. And because of that, and because it was snowing, that was enough to put them off coming to the college. And this is what you get when you force people, or I shouldn't necessarily say force people, but when you're willing to subsidise people going onto a course who don't have the willpower to achieve the qualification. They sort of act like the crabs in the bucket that drag the other crabs down that are trying to escape the bucket. Now this is the reason why I'm actually against this policy of making further education free, as I believe it's going to make the policy, and I believe it's not just a belief, I've shown some evidence of that it's going to put barriers on the poor people who are actually willing to put in the hard work to get to the top. So with saying that, I think I've said enough, because I just wanted to show the anecdotal evidence, and it's getting to about 9 minutes now, this video. So with saying that, sayonara suckers.